Welcome to yet again another segment of SDMS tutorials. In this video, we are going to learn how to enter marks in a primary school. As I said earlier, you could type your www.sdms into the browser, but I have a shorter way for doing that because every time you want to visit your school account or your page, you don't have to go to the browser. You could download an application that takes you directly to your login page. If you're using a smartphone, here is an Android application that you can download. But since we are on a desktop for now, we're going to download a desktop application. And it goes ahead to give us this security warning telling us that if Windows Defender shows up a security warning, you click on more info and run anyway. You could read this, so we just proceed to the download. And like I said, you neglect all warnings because we are not downloading from Microsoft itself. So we go ahead and you could say download suspicious file. It does not matter. The file has no problem itself. So you go and open your, you go and open the file that you downloaded, and then you double click. So like I said, if this message appears on your screen, you come to more info and say run anyway. So you proceed with the installation instructions. And then we are done with the installation. So after a successful installation of the SDMS application on your desktop, you click on the desktop icon, which will take you directly to the login page. This is where you have to enter the login ID. So you enter, for this particular school, Uganda Primary School, we enter 202.202.312, and we log in. We have logged in as a director of studies, as a DOS, and this does not require authentication. Otherwise, if you logged in as HM or BASA or director of the school, we would require two-factor authentication. But as a DOS, it opens straight away. Now, we have this interface here. If you want to enter marks for P1, you click on there, and this is the interface for entering marks for P1, and all the other interfaces look like that. Now I have already populated our school with some pupils per class, and you could see that P1 has 105 pupils. So we are going to enter marks for P1 class. Now to enter marks, whether with a phone or with a computer, is just the same thing, and the only job a teacher has to do is to enter marks. Then the system carries on with the rest of the stuff. So we could say this one got 95 here, and 69 there, probably 80 there, and then 75. We could say RE was 69. Then you save. When you save, it takes you to the next pupil, and this next pupil we can say got 88 in English, 98, 78, 65, and 74. So when you you remember to always submit these marks, which is saving. When you save, it takes you to the next pupil. So after we've entered our marks, anyway, before you enter the marks, you may say, I want teachers to send me the marks on the mark sheet that I will populate the marks with into the system. So you could download the mark sheet for that particular class. Yeah, it generates for you the mark sheet where it is in alphabetical order. You use this for, you give this to the teachers to enter marks, and then you use this sheet for entering marks into the system. So we go back, and then you may want to print out examination results for beginning of term, mid, or BOT. Now for report cards, you may say, I want to print BOT report cards, I want to print midterm report cards, I only want to print BOT and mid report cards, I only want to print mid and end of term exams, I want to print a single term report card, I want to print a 2-term report card. This happens in second term, whereby you want to have a report card that has both performance for first term and second term. And you may want to print this report card in third term. I've already entered some marks into our system, so let us go ahead and print a midterm report card over here. So it generates for you this kind of report card, Uganda Primary School, and this report card is on half a page. So I mean, to economize the paper. So if you want to download, you can download, or you can print directly from here. You will see that we only entered the marks, but it has gone ahead and filled in the aggregates for us. It ranks the performers according to the subject, and also gives remarks for that teacher. It gives grade and then inserts class teachers and HM's comments automatically. So we are done with this. We could go back and generate another type of report card. We may say we want just beginning of term and mid exams. We may say we want mid-term and end of term report card. It generates the report cards for you. Remember, all the teacher did was to enter marks. After customization, all these things happen on their own. You generate a report card as beautiful as this. Now, this is a report card that has marks for mid-term and end term, and it is ranking students per, it is ranking pupils per subject and giving remarks. It also gives you the total aggregates, and then the personal average for that particular pupil, and then the class average. So for example, this particular pupil got a personal average of 19.2, and yet the class average is 54.4. This means that this particular pupil is way below the class average, and their performance is quite poor compared to the rest of the class. If the personal average was above the class average, that means that their performance is above the class average. I mean, they're performing well. If you want positions, you can get positions. If you don't want positions to appear, they will not appear. And these comments are auto-generated with AI depending on the child's performance. So these are the report cards for the entire class of P1. That is how the report card looks like for mid and end of term. You would also say, I want a report card for that has all the that has mid, BOT, and end. So we have this. It looks similar to the one we've just seen, but this one has performance for beginning of term, mid-term, and end of term. It also goes ahead to rank the pupils' performance per subject and gives remarks. And then also has, now you can see in this case that this particular pupils' personal average is above the class average. So in BOT, the average, this child performed better, but performed weak in mid, and so is in end. Now, on this file, we also have performance analysis, which is somewhere around here. Like I said, the only teacher's job is to enter marks. So here, it will give you performance analysis for that term. This was term 3. It will give you the 10 performers in that term. It will give you the best performers in BOT. This is the name of the people, their marks, and then their aggregates. In midterm, the same happens, and end of term. These are the best 10 performers in all the examination sets that they sat for. Then, top 3 performers per subject. In BOT, the best performer in English was so and so. The second best was that same person, and the third best was the same person. Then top 3 performers in mid, the same happens to that, like that. And then top 3 performers in end of term exam, those are the names. You see, this would take a director of studies a very long time to generate, and sometimes even make errors. But here, like I said, all the teacher has to do is to enter marks, which you have seen we have done, and then we've generated all this information. So we have subject performance analysis. In BOT, English was the average performance was 61.2. In mid, it was this, and this helps you to know which subject is being done best if you want to appreciate teachers. Then it also gives you grade distribution. First graders, how many were they? How many in BOT, how many were they? And then in midterm, how many were they? And end of term. So this is how the report card looks like, but that is now for lower primary. If you go to upper primary, you go back over here. For nursery, it would also give you that, where you enter the marks per subject. It has 89, 90, 96, 89, and probably 78. And remember to always save. It takes you to the next pupil. We want to look at P4 also. Now this is upper primary. Here we have 4 subjects. You come and say enter marks also. So it is just the same thing. Enter marks, save, and then let the system do the rest of the work for you. If you have customized your settings well in the aggregates and then the comments, you will not have any problem. If you want to, remember, if you want to enter beginning of term marks, you click on BOT. If you want to enter mid term marks, you click on this mid. If you want to enter end of term marks, you click on end. And remember to always save. Now, some schools do more than 3 examination sets. Let us say they either do beginning of term, mid-term, or end of term. But you may find that you want to do more than that. So if you are doing more than 1 set of exams, you click on sets, and you have up to 12 sets of exams. You come here and say we are entering marks for this particular set. I mean for English in set 1, like that. And then remember to always save. It takes you to the next pupil. And then you come and generate report cards here for sets. So it is just a simple thing. Either you're using a phone or you're using a computer, entering marks is made easy with this particular system.